Hi everyone, it's Jasmine with Real World Mental Illnesses, and today we're going to do a video on ADHD. So to start off, let's go through some of the main symptoms. So with ADHD, we have impulsiveness, restlessness, you're always moving, you always are active doing something, and not in a good way necessarily. It's almost like you can never give yourself a break. You're just always moving around doing something and busying yourself with something. Problem prioritizing tasks, problem focusing, inability to multitask, trouble being organized, etc. Now, typically with people I see that have ADHD, they have trouble completing their schoolwork on time or studying enough for tests because they were too busy prioritizing other tasks. And of course, it's so much deeper than that, but on a baseline level, typically people who do have ADHD will have trouble in school because they're not able to prioritize tasks as well. They have trouble focusing. So when it comes to studying, it's going to be hard. And when it comes to doing homework, it's going to be hard. So yes, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. There's a big emphasis on the hyperactivity, and it's almost as if you just are always active, and you just can't focus on one thing and like breathe and calm down. So, prevalence 10.5 million American adults have ADHD, which is a lot. However, when you think about it, that's only about 4% of Americans. So, even though it is a significant number, it's really not all that common. Now, before I get into the treatments, I'll actually just jump right into the character connection. And for this video, we have actually something a little special. So, we have two character connections. Now, I'm guessing you recognize at least one of them, Spongebob. And the second one is Phil Dunphy from Modern Family. Now, Spongebob, of course, is not a real, well, neither of them are real, but Spongebob is clearly not a human character. But still, he actually does exhibit a lot of symptoms that align with ADHD. And now, I wanted to pair that with a human just to show a more accurate representation. And Phil also does exhibit a lot of symptoms that align with that of ADHD. So first, we're going to jump right into a clip of SpongeBob showing symptoms of ADHD.
Hear that? We got an assignment! Did you hear that? What not to do at a stoplight!
800 words!
Yeah, I know! It's to get a little blood pumping in the old noodle. How about some calisthenics? Hoop, hop, hoop, hop, hoop, hop, hoop! Gary! I can't work on my essay knowing there's a mess in the kitchen. I might as well clean the rest of the floor while I'm at it. I should get these hard-to-reach places, too. And these dishes need to be cleaned. Can't have dirty garbage. Time! I can't write on an empty stomach, Gary. A visitor? For me? Bum! Nickel! Hey, a nickel! Check mirrors. Observe that speed limit. Watch for pedestrians!
Now, here's part 2 of the video.
Yeah! 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 Pinch some of these! Pinch some of these! Almost there, and... done. Now let's see how it looks so far. The... time!
Now, jumping back to the slide of symptoms, it's clear that he was jumping around. So he's jumping around from task to task and doing almost anything to avoid doing his paper. Now, he just simply couldn't focus. So this would best align with problem prioritizing tasks and problem focusing. Clearly, he went to clean his house, he went for a drive, he did about everything except write his paper. And even when he did write his paper and he was sitting and working for so long, all he got down was one word. And people who do have ADHD have seen that clip in the past and have commented that they really do think that that's an accurate representation of what it's like to be doing an assignment when you have ADHD. Now, since that was SpongeBob, our first character, we still have one more character to connect with ADHD. So that would be Phil Dunphy from Modern Family. He's a dad of 3 kids, and I'm going to show a clip of him possibly having ADHD.
So how do I start?
What do you think?
I don't know. Mom usually tells me what to do.
Join the club. I'm kidding. I love your mom. We are going to try a new approach this time. Now, your goal is to create a display about the life and art of Van Gogh, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Got your poster board right here. So, pretend you're telling the story of his life to someone who has never heard of him. What do you put on that board? I see the wheels spinning. The spark of
How did they get the lead and pencils?
Okay, let's try to stay on topic. All right, this is all you need to know right here. Apparently the pencil's in 2 pieces and they glue them together around the lead.
What if we put all the stuff about his life on this side and all the stuff about his paintings on this side?
Luke, buddy, that's fantastic. And the best part is you came up with that by yourself. All it took was a little bit of focus. And this thing is really loose. I'm gonna go grab a screwdriver, but you run with this. On your mark, get set, Van Gogh.
Hey, Dad, kind of looks like Uncle Mitchell. If Uncle Mitchell were insane.
Listen to these symptoms of ADHD and tell me it's not loose.
Alex.
Easily distracted by irrelevant stimuli. Often impulsively abandons one task for another.
That's where I left those.
A tendency to act without regard to consequences, often at the expense of personal safety. Having accidents
Okay, you know
more
what? I
often...
think that's enough, Alex. We've got it. Phil, honey, are you okay?
Yeah. Remember those sunglasses I couldn't find? Bingo.
Now, it was clear he was trying to help his son with his project, and then he got distracted about how pencils are made, and then he went downstairs to get a screwdriver because the chair's handle was loose, and then in the garage, a whole series of new things came into his mind, and he abandoned one task for another, and obviously never got back upstairs to do what he meant to do. So that's a similar but more realistic, because he's human, representation of ADHD. Now let's get into the treatment, since I haven't done that yet. So some treatment options that are most popular include support groups, creating a routine you can follow every day, and if you force yourself to follow it, it might be a little easier to avoid jumping around doing different things every single day. Some people use antidepressants like bupropion, and although, of course, this isn't depression, it still can help with some of the symptoms, but the most common medication is Adderall to help you focus. And I've heard success stories in which people say, I never knew I never knew I could be this productive until I took Adderall for the first time, and now I've been just studying for hours on end. So really, it is extremely beneficial to use Adderall or similar medications when you do have ADHD. And on the bright side, this quote says, by adulthood, the symptoms of ADHD typically decrease by about 50%, particularly for people who receive treatment at onset. So that is why treatment is so important. And it's something to be hopeful about, because even if you do have ADHD, assuming you do your treatments and everything, soon your symptoms will be a lot less worse. So that is a great positive thing to keep in mind. And it's a really nice thing, because that isn't how most mental illnesses are. For example, With, let's say, bipolar disorder, typically the symptoms won't decrease by that much. However, they can decrease with treatment. But ADHD really has a huge success rate when you do take treatments and you just successfully get to your adult ages. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I can't wait to see what you guys want to watch next.